Okay, we're going to finish up the fingerboard that we started. I've taken the clamps off. You remember it was being held by clamps, so the binding is glued on. First thing I'm going to do is I've got to clean up the back side. The back side is the side that's actually going to get stuck down onto the neck. So this is a really key part of the operation. That's got to be absolutely flat. So we're going to do that on belt sander here. When I'm working off my little manifest, I tend to circle the number I'm doing. This is 1527. So I'm making sure I've got the number written down because I'm going to lose my marks on the back. Set my dust collection where I want it.
I should mention that.
You
know, we wear eye protection and ear protection in the shop, but we're not doing it on this video just because it's really hard to shoot video with all of our protective gear or whatever protective gear on it.
That's my protective gear.
You do. Good for you.
Good for me. Okay.
That's one of those operations that, you know, Ben makes it look really easy. And I remember when I used to do all of our fingerboards, and there's just a whole lot of experience in just getting that perfect.
It's just doing it many times.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of what it is the sound changes. As you stop sanding the binding and you just start to hit this wood, it changes the sound.
Goes a little bit deeper.
Yeah, and what I'm really looking for, and you saw I was going at an angle like this, is the other sanding marks from when we made this piece of wood, which was cut from big blocks like that. You can show them there, Gordon, if you want. This is where this comes from. It's a big plank of bird's eye maple. The other sanding marks are going that direction, so I can really see whether I've got it flat. And I can feel, a lot of woodwork is to do with feeling with your fingers. You can feel the difference if it's not really flat. So that looks good. You can see I've lost my marks. I've got to write on the back again what it is. 1527. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is trim off the ends of the binding. Do that on the bandsaw. And on the nut end, I've got it so that I've just got a little bit to clean off, and this is a critical end of the instrument. This end is going to get a slight radius on, so it's not as important. So now we want to put a radius on the fingerboard this way. It's one of the nice things we do with our instruments. Not every ukulele has that. And the way I do that is with this little jig here. And I've looked at various different ways and different machines you can buy to do this, and I haven't seen anyone who does it exactly the same, but I made this little jig to, first of all, make this process quicker, but really to make it absolutely the same every time. So what I did, out of some Delrin, which is a really hard plastic, I cut our radius, which is a 12-inch radius. So imagine a 2-foot circle. That's what we're on the edge of. So it's a 12-inch, 1-foot radius. So I've got that both ends. And then I have two absolutely flat planes of the same material here and here. And then this is suspended above the sanding belt at exactly the right height of our final fingerboard width. And so...
But the coolest thing you did is right here. How do you hold it?
How do you hold it, yeah. And I started by putting double stick tape and it gets in the way. And so I have a little system now where I have some little rubber bits that I kind of squeeze open, and it works for all the different sizes. It's got to be nice and flat down there. So that's now going to hold it. I can set it in my jig. Again, I'm going to turn on the dust extractor. I'm sure Gordon remember that was an operation that took probably 15 or 20 minutes.
It was. I hated it the most.
I mean, I hated it too. Yeah.
The one job in the shop I just
really
put
annoying.
off every week.
Yeah. And it was very uneven. It wasn't very.
I think I asked you to design me something, and you refused to do it until you took over the job, and then you designed something in about a week.
As soon as I had to do it, I did it straight away. You can see now we have a radius going that way. And what I'm looking for now is I'm looking for scratches running longitudinally this way, which means that the sander has done its job and it's hit every part of the fingerboard. But obviously it's a little rough, so we want to clean that up. And I made this other little downdraft table to try and take some of the dust. The maple dust isn't as bad, but the ebony dust is horrible in your lungs, so try and keep that out as much as possible. So now my dust extractor is hooked up to here, and all the dust will go down these holes. And I'm going to start with 220 grit sandpaper, and then I'm going to finish with 320. And that's the final grit, and then it gets wire wooled after the frets are in up at the shop. So there's a lot of dust in the fret slots, and the boys wouldn't like that, so I'm going to blast the last little dust out of here. And then I'll give it a good look under the light, and again I'm holding it at an angle so I can see if there are any remaining scratches going this way, which is how it was sanded when it was rough stock. I don't want to see anything like that. My wife Heather gives it a final check at the end, and she should catch them. But it's starting to look pretty nice. You like how that is? Okay, next thing we're going to do to it is we're going to put the radius on this end, and we're going to straighten off the nut end.
You know, I think, Ben, we should
do you want to
stop this tape, and on the next one we'll do the ends and the side dots, yeah?
Very good, yeah.
All right.
All right.